Are we rolling? Don't mind the fluffy chair, it's not mine. We're doing a review on something we should have reviewed back in December when I got it. This was a Christmas gift. And what I'm talking about is this right here, this leather watch roll. As you can tell, either I don't know how to use it right or we got some critiquing to do. Either way, let's get into it. Why this watch roll? So this watch roll was actually identified, and I can't remember by who. Was not me. Was one of my friends, I'm sure. But this is the watch roll that we see Daniel Craig use in his Esquire interview, talking about his watch collection, which the video itself, not my favorite. We need Daniel Craig to do like talking watches on Hodinkee, because I'm sure he's got many more than we saw in this video. And I would like to actually see his full collection. But he brought 2 of these with him. So he brought about 8 watches. And I haven't actually watched this video in a while, but maybe he brought 8, maybe he brought a little more, maybe less. But he brought 2 of these. These are $25 on Amazon. $25.49, excuse me. So you're probably thinking, why would Daniel Craig have $25 watch roll? Well, for starters, in my opinion, I think what he may have done was said, okay, I'm doing this Esquire thing. I need to carry 8 watches with me. What's an easy way to do it? Watch roll, go to Amazon, order 2 overnight, boom, there you go. Or they were gifted, or maybe he just liked these. But the one thing I can tell you is they are 100% leather and they're hand stitched. So for $25, that's pretty damn good. I've never actually used this before. I actually had to hunt this down for this video, which is kind of funny. But because I'm about to go on vacation. I'm about to go to the Florida Keys, and I'm going to bring a few watches, number 1. And number 2, we're going to check out some Bond locations. See, now there's just like shit everywhere. Yeah, it's gotta be used more. I think that's the thing. So there you go. You open it up, plain and simple. First thing I can tell you is if you watch the video, his looks like the same color here, but a different color here. I think it just kind of varies. I don't think they're constantly getting the same shade of color. Because if you look at the other colors they offer, it looks like there's 8 different colors. This does look like the closest one. And this is the bourbon brown that I have here. But, you know, whatever floats your boat. If people watch my channel frequently, you'll know that I kind of just get what I feel like I would use. Like there's a blue one. If Daniel Craig had the blue one, I don't know if I like the blue one. I might have got this one instead. So I always kind of do what, you know, if I'm going to spend the money on anything, whether it's $25 or $2,500, I'm going to get the one that I would use. The first thing, when you open this up, if you're comparing shot for shot with his video, the coloring looks a little different up here, but pretty similar here. And I'll put images up, of course. 4 slots. First thing I can tell you, durable, very durable. Very well made. And I think I'm going to like this because over time, I'm hoping it gets a little bit of wear to it, you know, because if you could see when I started the video, it's kind of like when I'm rolling these over, and maybe it's just the watches I've chosen and the positions that they're in. Let's try moving this over here. But it wasn't rolling, I don't know, I guess perfectly is the right way to say it. But, you know, there's kind of like, see, just like excess, you know, I don't know if I'm just flat out doing it wrong or what. I mean, I guess you could do it like that, but what's the point? And then maybe go over. I mean, there's probably multiple ways to do it. But, you know, there's that is honestly my only complaint after screwing around with this for the last hour. But, so you've got that. What I do like is these actual slots for the watches are pretty, like, tight. So they're not really moving around. This one kind of is, only because I think that's where, oh no, it would have been here. But slide this one in here. And this is a vintage. So both of these are vintage Seamasters, Omega Seamasters. So they're smaller and they're very thin. So sliding them in here and feeling like they're actually in there and supported is nice, because, you know, not only do I not want these to fall out, but I also don't want them to like move around in there and have potential to rub up against anything, even if it's leather. I don't want that. The color, like I said, 8 different colors. This, I'm pretty sure bourbon brown is what he had. Maybe if I just did strictly like leather banded watches in here, this might have a little bit more of a successful time closing. But see, something like this, I don't even think I can put in there because of this. I'd have to take the deployment clasp off, which I'm not going to do because it's a pain to put back on. But for $25, regardless of why he has it, you kind of can't beat it. And there's still a bunch. For this particular color, it doesn't say anything about the stock. Some of the other colors I saw when I was looking on my phone, there's only a few colors left. This one, if this is right, bourbon brown, I'll say it again, seems to be just fine. I pointed this out a little earlier. There's like residue here on my desk. I'm hoping that's just because of lack of use, but that could get a little annoying. Aside from that, I like it. $25. Daniel Craig's got a couple of them. Was identified. It's by a brand called Hide and Drink. Probably should have started with that. Watch roll organizer, 4 slots. Let's talk a little bit about the product itself here. The first thing to advertise is a 101-year warranty. Each of Hide and Drink's rustic, durable leather products is made with care and craftsmanship, with every item handmade to the highest standard. They come with a 101-year warranty. Next, made from soft and attractive full grain leather. All of Hide and Drink's products are hand cut and handcrafted using the highest quality of leather that you will find, namely full grain leather. Next, finely hand stitched. We are proud that each and every one of our products is handmade by expert local artisans in Guatemala, hand stitched. Lastly, makes a great gift. Well, that's for damn sure, because I got this for Christmas from my mother-in-law. Thank you very much. That's pretty much it. We can pull these out of here just to kind of see. One thing I do want to show you before I put an end to this, and of course, look at these beautiful pieces. The GoldenEye, Don Draper, another 60s Seamaster. The one thing I wanted to point out, which is truly my only gripe with this, aside from, you know, I mean, usually when I travel, I have like individual watch, like travel cases, and I'll just bring like 2 watches. I don't usually bring more than 2 or 3 watches. But this I'm going to try when we go to the keys. So I pointed this out before. Right here you can see, without anything in it, it closes really nicely. But you can also see here versus here, there's like basically, the point I'm trying to make is, it's like the material is perfectly even. But when it gets to here and it's closing, there's a gap because of all this extra leather where the pockets actually are, which I think is what causes the problem when you actually have watches in here. And that does kind of scare me a little bit, because I only have 3 in here, and 2 of the 3 are very thin. Very, very, very thin. And the GoldenEye is also thin. Like if I had like 4 Planet Oceans in here, or newer Seamasters or Submariner or something like that, I don't know how this would do. But I've moved these things around so we can try closing it this way. But that's the only gripe I have, is I would have, as a manufacturer, maybe tested this. This actually closed a little better this time. But maybe tested this with thicker watches and found out, like, should we, you know, include a little more material so that it can kind of wrap over and you can get a very successful closing. But overall, I do like it. For $25, you can't beat it. This is one of the biggest gripes us Bond fans have, is when it comes to collecting things from the films, or since Daniel Craig has been Bond, this huge sartorial boom we've had of just his personal clothing and belongings. It's hard to find something affordable, and for $25, you cannot beat this. I do recommend. So, if you get it, leave me a comment. If you have it, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I appreciate you guys watching, as always. This has been Luke from Bond's Apartment. I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.